Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Family and friends, I hope we can call you that. Can we call you that? Part of the extended Brandix family as well as friends with each other. I'd like to give what we would say in the US a shout out to the parents and family, right? So I think probably this group and this group should look to the audience and clap for your family and friends in the audience, right? You're supposed to look at them when you do that as well. So, glad to be here. I asked one of my colleagues if they remembered who spoke at their graduation, and my colleague said that they couldn't remember. And then I started thinking about the last time I graduated, if I could remember who spoke, and I can't. And so what I hope that you take away from today is the feeling you have. In fact, I think one of the most things I'm grateful for today is I've been able to sit right there and see you come up and smile. And in fact, you're supposed to do the handshaking, but many of you are reaching for the degree before the handshake because you want that. And that's important. I think the journey that you're on is pretty amazing. And I think my colleagues have talked about it before. There's an author, C.S. Lewis, who I like having some of the quotes around. One of the quotes that C.S. Lewis said was that hardship or hard times gives the opportunity for an ordinary person to live an extraordinary life. And I like that quote. He also had another quote, he was an early adult during World War II. And he was giving a speech at Oxford University to people who were going to school and learning during the war. And he said that those who achieve and learn during difficult times are best prepared for the future. But he went on to say, because easy times really never come. And so I think all the speakers ahead of me have commended you for your ability to learn and grow during a very difficult time. And I think of a quote by Oprah Winfrey, a woman who basically said that education is a passport to freedom. I don't know if you believe that, but so I have in my pocket, I have my passport, right? And I've been a lot of places actually. Nepal, Indonesia, Africa, but most of you have a passport, right? Right? But just because you have a passport doesn't mean you get to go anywhere. Did you know that? You know that, right? Because to go places, oftentimes they require visas, right? And even when you get a visa to go somewhere, sometimes you have to go online and actually fill out another certificate or an entry pass. Do you know that? So traveling these days is not that easy. And what I would share with you about what Oprah Winfrey said about an education is a passport to freedom, is that the degrees and certificates and diplomas that you receive today are part of a bigger past that you will create to go places. When I was studying many years ago, I wasn't sure if I should get the next level certificate or degree, and I was actually in an airport, and there was an advertisement for a university, and what it said was, you can go anywhere from here. And that was what they were doing, is it was an advertisement for that university. And they said, if you can come here and get that degree, you can go anywhere. by getting that degree or that certificate. And so I thought to myself at that airport, I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. And I would tell you that I never thought ever that I would be in Sri Lanka. Did you know that? Because you have pursued these degrees and diplomas, and that you will keep pursuing learning, you will have opportunities to go a lot of different places. And sometimes those places aren't to different countries. It's about learning different things. It's about being connected to different people. Now, you might think I'm strange, but you know, I also usually carry with me a rock. You see that? It's usually in my bag. I've had it with me for 20 years. It's a piece of limestone. Okay? It's from a place called Robben Island. You know where Robben Island is? It's in South Africa. Robben Island was the island where Nelson Mandela was in prison. And Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years of his life. And the last bit he was in prison in Robben Island. And I have this rock for a couple reasons. One is because he spent a good chunk of his life in a quarry. You know what a quarry is. They gave them a hammer and they had to knock out little pieces of rock. Now, the reason I tell you about why I keep this rock and why I tell you about Nelson Mandela is because one of the most interesting things he said was, oftentimes people celebrate me because of my accomplishments. And he said, what they really need to celebrate me for is how many times I have been able to get up when I have been down. Okay? So one of my colleagues, I think all my colleagues have talked to you about resilience. Resilience is being able to navigate hard times. It's being able to get up when you've been down. It's your ability to get a degree or a certificate when the times are so difficult. So when I look at you, I see the future. And we talk about Brandix being inspired solutions. I would say that I am inspired by you, and I'm inspired by you, and I'm inspired by your friends and family who have worked hard to get you where you are. Now, the exciting thing that I know is really what you'd like to get is through the rest of the diplomas. You'd like to hug your families, right? And then you'd like to go out and party, right? And celebrate. Okay? But what I want you to remember, if you can, that this is the first step of the next step of a beautiful journey that you're on. What I hope you see out of this is the hope for the future. As I said that C.S. Lewis said, that difficult times and hardship give ordinary people like me an opportunity to be extraordinary. When I look at you, I already see extraordinary people. And what I imagine for you is more than an extraordinary future. And so appreciate each other. The last thing I would leave you with is a couple of B things, like be nice. I'd say be honest, be trustworthy, be loyal, be helpful, be friendly, be courteous, be kind, and be respectful. Thank you for your time and look forward to seeing you in your future. Thank you.